Welcome to Tally the Votes, Australia Survivor Edition, Week 7 of Season 11. This week brought us alliance shifts and the villain origin story of a certain Raymond Ramses Bolton. Not to mention the sweet, sultry sass of the Speedo Man himself, Alex. It's auction week. We love an auction, but you don't have to bid your last $100 to get a date with us. We're right here. Just grab a drink, pull up a chair, and we can talk Survivor. Here are my two most favorite Alliance members, the most fluid of them all. There is David. Hey, David.
Hey, just wondering. Yeah, I think we got to give it up for the production team on Australian Survivor, because apparently they can handle doing the auction, unlike our U.S. compatriots who it's just too much work.
And we've got the lady whose votes never fail and always fall in line. We have Miss Christy.
Wow. Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, the auction was fantastic, and boy, he really wanted to spend the rest of that money, didn't he?
$100. That leaves me. I'm Jamie. We're going to jump right into the auction. I have a question that's just meant for David because, David, you've been the most vocal about this, so here's your time to shine.
Excellent.
How much work do you think it really took production to pop that popcorn?
Well, first you got to go buy the popcorn. And you gotta buy the pop, and you gotta buy some oil, right? You gotta put some oil in a pan.
Not if you use an air popper.
Well, that's true. They could, but then you gotta buy an air popper, and that adds expense. And then, how really can you expect a show like Survivor to spend money on an air popper, Christy? I think that's just unrealistic.
Fair.
I mean, how is
all their money for Probst?
How is JLP supposed to get a paycheck if we spend all of the money on a bag of microwave popcorn?
Hey, that was totally worth $400.
$400 popcorn.
It was. And it started us on our journey. We didn't know it.
We didn't know how great it would be. Now, okay, but seriously, guys, when you saw the popcorn, weren't you like immediately, that's got an advantage in it? Like immediately, that's an advantage. Like
I should have been, but I didn't.
I wasn't,
honestly,
because it was first.
Because it was cursed.
No, it was first. It was
first. It was the first thing.
It was first.
I thought it was that wah thing, like you spend all this money, but it's really just popcorn. Which, do they have the same rule as the U.S. that you have to eat everything there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like, how do you even eat all that popcorn?
Apparently, if it's a mint, you can take that back with you.
Right there, you go. But you know what I mean?
Was he salty about the mints?
A little bit.
A little bit. He was
disappointed.
Whatever.
Dental hygiene is not important to Ferris.
I just have to say, I would have been
hungry though.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks when you want food. I'm not gonna lie, but also
I'd be eating the freaking toothpaste.
Yeah, like brushing your teeth with the sink and having the soap and all that. Oh, that probably would have been pretty nice.
I'm sure it would be comforting, but it still wouldn't be food in your belly.
It's definitely not. And when you're hungry, you got to eat.
And they gave some really good food too.
But
and they gave away beer. I mean, as a host of the show, whatever you were missing from your paycheck, thanks to the popcorn, you made up in a nice glass of beer.
Yeah, and who won that? Because he didn't want it. He gave it to.
It was Val. Val took it.
Yeah.
So does she not drink? No, she does drink because she was talking about drinking vodka.
I was going to say she's Russian. I don't know if that's allowed.
Maybe she just saw how Jonathan's eyes lit up with the idea of Ferris giving him that beer, and so she was like, "Well, I have to give it to him." I don't know. So we get our auction. Raymond gets this advantage. We'll go back to the advantage here. What do you think?
Now, did he put the advantage in his mouth, or did he
his
find
pocket?
it?
He put it in his pocket.
No, but I'm saying, did he find it in his hand, or did he put it in his mouth?
Yeah, he kind of dug through it slyly, and then put it in his pocket.
And he was sitting in the perfect spot because he was on the edge of the bench.
Yeah, he didn't have
like on the bleachers, I'll just sit over here. I got my thing already, and so then they're looking at what's going on. They weren't even paying attention to him.
Yeah, they had no idea. So yeah, he puts that in his pocket, and it turns out that it's an advantage that if he can get every person at Tribal to put his name down, then only his vote's going to count, and he can basically pick who he wants to go out. He fairly quickly realizes this is something that's going to be nearly impossible to do by himself, and so he goes to Ferris and tells him about the advantage. That will come into play later, but we're going to wait until we get there. Christy.
Yeah.
We see a lot of Kirby in this episode, and she reminds us that since Merge, she's been sitting back and trying to kind of be more of an observer, and she decides that she's really going to push and create an alliance with Ferris by removing Eileen. Has your opinion changed after this week about Kirby's gameplay? Is she playing better than Ferris at the moment?
I think Ferris is just more Ferris, though his strategy works for him. I think she absolutely pivoted at the Merge and like sat back. Don't want to look like a huge threat, she said. Now again, this is what she's telling us in her confessional. Who knows? Maybe, I mean, but if that's what she's doing, what she explained to us she was doing, I think it's pretty smart. Like, because there's a lot of these people you don't know, and you really should absolutely be doing the Aaron Burr here and talking less and listening, smile more, right? You just listen to what everybody else says, listen to who congregates around who goes off with who. That's gold right now, and she's soaking it all in. So
I find it interesting that Ferris is probably the most keen observer of people, and he picks up on things, but he has a huge Kirby-sized blind spot. He wants Kirby to like and respect him so much that he never sees her betrayals, which happen over and over and over and over.
Right, it's a little Charlie Brown and Lucy, right?
Yeah, and he keeps coming back and saying, this time she's gonna hold that football.
You're not gonna yank it away this time, are you, Kirby? And she does. She's so afraid that he's gonna get one over on her. But
what's interesting is that there's other people doing the same thing with Ferris. So like when he was talking to us in Tribal or talking to JLP and saying, hey, you know, like when they're talking about the fluidity of all of these votes, that you know, he doesn't get the tunnel vision on somebody. You know, he's willing to move even if they at the last Tribal voted against what he wanted, because Caroline and Kitty, man, they're back and forth too, and he's still, I mean, that is on one hand that's a game strength, because you have to be able to be flexible and move around with some people sometimes. But like David said, with somebody like Kirby, is that going to continue to happen, or is this all in his brain and he's stacking it up and waiting for the moment that he's going to get that blind spot out of his way?
I don't know. I don't think he saw the betrayal on Eileen coming. I don't think he saw that at all.
No, I would definitely say that one got him. Well, David, he senses that Caroline and Kitty are lying. And it kind of seems like
that's all they do.
I was going to say,
there's
Ferris
never a waver or a waffle that Kitty and Caroline.
Well, Kitty doesn't lie as much because she can't do it very good, but Caroline.
She just wavers and waffles.
Well, I loved it because we always see Ferris, like you said, watching. You know, he's taking everything in. We've mentioned before, he seems to have a pretty good lie detector. But I'm wondering in this situation, is it his lie detector? Is it just that they are that bad at lying? It seems like everybody knows when these two are lying. Kitty especially. And if there's any question with Caroline, they do what Ferris did and said, let's bring Kitty in and see what she has to say.
We can get it out of her, right? She's the weak link.
They just don't seem to be, they don't seem to be that strong of liars. So, also, I kind of want to go into Tribal here. There's a lot of like back and forth that's happening in Tribal, but one of the things that I thought was most interesting, especially given what happens in our next Tribal, is that Val like really pushes to make Alex specifically paranoid when they're trying to cover their tracks of their plan and what they are doing. It's like she's just basically saying his name. And it's so interesting that the following we have him protecting her, but the way that this story is weaving in and out is it's just it is chaos. It's exactly the chaos that Ray says he likes to have.
Have we, Jamie, have we ever seen this far post-merge a group where, other than a couple of pairs, there really are no solid alliances? They move and they shift like sand, like the wind. They come, they go, they disappear.
Because no sooner
Well,
does somebody lose an
don't know that I've
alliance,
ever
they get
seen
another
anything
one, and
like
then
it.
that one's gone. And it's like, yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, they move around a lot. It kind of leads me into questioning. Okay, Christy, maybe you can, because you and I have talked about this a little bit. Right after, like the next episode, we go into episode 2, right after Tribal, and Alex is talking about flipping because he sees Ferris talk to other people, and immediately, oh, I feel left out. I'm so left out. And the day before, it's Jaden going, oh, I feel so left out. Nobody's my friend. I'm feeling left out. I think there's two things to this. One, I am so overhearing that women are emotional players. I'm gonna say it. I got super
Well,
mad at it.
yeah, there's an
Because,
element of that for sure. Yep.
yeah.
Also, I also think those two are both on the younger side, and maybe what we don't see is how amazingly Ferris plays these people into, like, they sound like jilted girlfriends, right? Like, Ferris is not giving me attention.
Yeah, he's right. He's like, maybe he's one of those that's like really dynamic in one-on-one conversation and makes you feel like you're the center of the universe.
Yeah, so that when the light's not shining, you're like, wait,
it's so
shine
cold.
shine your bright white smile at me, Ferris.
Well, and everyone talks
I don't know if that
how fluid the alliances are, but like they kind of the fluidity seems to circle around Ferris and Kirby a lot.
Yeah.
But okay, is it that these alliances are fluid? Is it that these votes are fluid, that people aren't locking themselves in one way or the other? Or is it because everyone's hell bent on revenge and they're just making a ton of emotional choices?
No, I think it's really weird. I think this might be the first time that we've really seen, like you said, this far in after merge, where everyone's kind of playing their own individual game, right? Yes. You can see that they're paired up, like even Kirby and Ree. Well, that's not true. Maybe Ree would be more the lone person, because I don't think she'd ever do anything to save Kirby. But yeah, it seems like everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. Like they tried to make Ferris the bad guy because he didn't play his idol for Garrick, but it's like, no, we're working together, but I'm for my game, and they're kind of all seen that way. So maybe, so yes, there is some emotions there, but yeah, I think everyone's for their own game.
There's also
Kitty's jumping in. You know, Kitty.
Go
ahead, sorry.
She's gonna start playing.
There's an interesting dynamic at play that I don't know I've ever seen before, where like Ferris, everybody wants to play with him, but all he cares about is playing with Kirby, right? And Mark, who's had 13 opportunities to make different alliances, wants to reform with Caroline and Kitty so bad. And I don't know that I've ever seen that sort of like weird, like keep going back to a person when
it's like
they kicked you in the face.
There is some of that. However, it seems like every single time, with the exception of maybe the last 2 rounds, but up until this week, it seems like every single time Carolyn and Kitty say, oh, well, we've got to work with Mark just this one more time. Mark's like, you can trust me. And then he just tries to shank him in the back every time.
He does. He is a little shanky.
So
much more than
So it's
than
like he wants to work
Ferris.
with them, but like really the only person he was truly aligned with, I think, was Val. And then I think the only person that Ferris is 100% aligned with is Ray, and Kirby with Ree, and everybody else is just kind of moving in between.
Yes,
But
because
is Ray 100% aligned with Ferris? Because the next episode leads me to believe he's not.
right, agreed. I
And
think we also
you got to make their moves, right? This is where there's the breakaways, because Carolyn and Kitty too, they had
their conversation.
we'll be
Mhm.
friends no matter what happens.
Yep. And Kitty kind of took that like, oh, cool. Phew. We're playing our games.
For real though, like, okay, even if you're not in a game for loads of money and it's just regular life, and you call up your friend and you're all like, hey, bestie, what's up? And they're like, listen, I want you to know that no matter what happens, we're friends for life.
Girl, what'd you do?
What the hell did you do? Like, what is happening?
Are we going on Jerry Springer? Because what happened? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, that should have been the whole episode right there, is the bounce back from that. But no.
Mm-mm.
Yep, that's right. We're going to be friends no matter what. And so
they're
now,
very mature about it, unlike the boys who weren't getting attention. So maybe that's what that is.
So David,
maturity.
Kitty is like ready to stretch, and take a little step back from Carolyn and kind of form her own path. Is it like do you feel like it's a little too soon for drawing that line? I mean, they still have at this point there's 10, 11 people still in there?
I think
10?
there was 10 in this episode, or no, not 11 in this. When Eileen went home, she was, there
10.
were,
yeah.
Eileen was the first on the jury, so she would have been
11,
top
right?
10 or top 11.
Yes.
Right, because you have 10 people or.
Yeah, so you work with one person solid. You bounce around through other people, but you work with one person solid. All the way up to merge, you go into merge, you stick with that person. You're still with that person, but you still have 11 people left in the game. And out of those 11 people, a couple of them are heavy hitters. Do you break away from your one surefire loyal alliance member that soon?
I don't think you do, but I think Kitty realizes, Kitty strikes me as someone who's got a little EQ going. She's smart. I think she realizes she has to make moves, or even if she gets there, she can't win. So I think that's what she was trying to do. She didn't do it very well, but I think that was her thought process.
I think that's been a bunch of people's thought process this week. I think if you look at some of the stuff, it's everyone go. That's kind of the theme of this week was, I have to start making my resume, right?
Yeah, last week was all revenge plots, and now we're moving into resume building. It's a bit like my week in real life, but moving on. Christy, really important question. Do you think that Ree is ever going to vote with her alliance?
Ooh, homegirl. Like, I don't know. He's like, does she not get the memo? I don't understand. Like, do they need to like help her write it out on the parchment for her? Like, she doesn't seem to be too worried about it. Like, either they don't tell her and she doesn't question why she's not
trying to figure that out.
Or she votes rando for no reason at all.
I don't get it.
I would pose a question on this. Is she a moron, or B, dumb like a fox? And she's throwing spanner votes and just keeping the target off of her.
This is so hard because Kirby keeps her in the know. It's not like Kirby doesn't tell her things. We'll see in the next episode. One of the biggest secrets of this season comes out, and Kirby goes, you know what? I've got to tell Rhea. I've got to keep her in the loop. And it's like, so she has to be getting the... So,
but I was super worried about her telling Ree, weren't you?
Always. I always worried when Ree knows anything, because she seems to do the opposite. And I don't know if it's because she's a moron or if she's the Fox, you know? I do know she's amazing at challenges.
Sure.
And she's a
Why
real
does
threat for
she
that.
keep getting tape? When she was hanging on that rope, the last week when she was doing whatever they were doing, she had tape on her feet. This week, she's on the rope and her hands are taped. No one else had tape on their hands.
Is it tape or is it bandages? Like, you know how you tear a callus?
Well, I understand, but how come she always seems to have the right bandage for the challenge? That helps her.
Oh.
It's
So that we
twice in
can
a row.
watch Alex do amazing acrobatics.
Oh, did you see the previews? Did you see the preview for next week?
Yes. I can't. It's too much. The Speedo, the bending. It's a whole thing.
And you know, and I watched that preview, and the only thing I could think is US would never ever do that challenge.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And he did want you to be gentle with the balls.
Be gentle with the balls. So, okay, we go into Tribal for episode 2. Some big highlights of it. We can't overlook. Alex has had enough of Ferris's gloating and slays him with the.
The greatest line of the Survivor season.
I think your ass gets jealous of the amount of shit your mouth is talking.
Oh my gosh! I said, this needs to be cross-stitched on the sampler for me. I loved it so much, right? A little poop emoji sitting next to it smiling. You can see it now. Follow my Etsy store for more. I'm not.
I could feel Alex's stock watch just going cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. He is literally just saying the words we all want to say because we love watching Ferris play the game, but that mouth is just talking some doo-doo on a constant basis. Also in the Tribal, we've got that moment where Mark leans into Ray and says, you want to make a move? Ballsies, just right there, you know, like, and that is one thing I have to say I really do like about this cast this season. It's like everyone's like, you know what? Like, let's just fuck it, let's do it. I think
they're not afraid.
I think that might be part of the fluidity. It's just not like, well, let's do it. Let's see what happens, you know. So this is where we get Raymond, and he flips at an opportune time. He flips the script, which is really interesting to me when we go into.
But it wouldn't have mattered if Ree would have voted with her alliance. That's the funny part.
But it's because it's Ree, because Kitty also, she flips too, so it balances it out. Isn't that great too that Ray doesn't get a whole lot of grief for it because, well, Ree, damn it, Ree.
So what do you think happened in that moment? Was it Mark whispers to him, just vote for Jared, everything will be okay? And does he think for himself for a moment? Yeah, Jared needs to go. That sounds like a good idea.
Like maybe he needs to. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's in Ray's head. Like, this is the most Ray we've received all season. And to me, it seems like what's in Ray's head is like, I'm bored. Let's see what we can do this week to have fun.
Let's see what we can fuck with next.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, he really is.
He was genius. He was genius in how he found the exact way to manipulate the situation in his favor, and all he had to do was lay in a hammock and sleep.
And the other thing is, Eileen going home was perfect for him because it made Ferris his guy.
But it also,
Eileen was more loyal to Ferris was more loyal to Eileen until she left.
Right.
Yes.
But that was the whole point of Kirby trying to get her out, was so that she could wedge in there. And I loved that we got the little conversation after Tribal 2, where that little quick conversation where Kirby is all like, sorry, you know, I'm really sorry. And he's like, well, the wedge is gone, you know? And she's like, that's my point exactly. It's like exactly why I did it. And he's like, well, it's better you do it than I'm having to do it. which was
Yeah.
really, I don't know if it was a heartfelt statement from Ferris.
I
but
didn't
it was
either.
the right
G-
statement.
No, but it was
was-
great gameplay.
it was
Exceptional
absolute-
gameplay.
I thought the same thing.
I'm not
Yeah.
butthurt. She had to go home. It's fine.
But as Jonathan's reading the Eileen's, I just wanted one. Not even one. Come on, Eileen. Not a single one.
Well, I don't even. Was that a big song in Australia? Do we even know?
It was big everywhere, David.
I don't know.
I'm fairly certain.
Dexy's Midnight Runners may not. I don't think they were Australian. I thought they were Irish, weren't they?
Yeah,
They're
but
English.
maybe
They're English ones.
she's like,
No, they were Irish.
maybe they just didn't want
What-
to.
but they were famous. That song was famous everywhere.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyway,
It still
but
is
yeah,
everywhere.
it's everywhere. I love it.
I don't
mean,
think
we
it was
got
big in
sweet-
Bangladesh, but I'm just saying.
We got Sweet Caroline.
You
You
don't
would
know.
think we could have got the Eileen.
Ba-ba-da.
I have a banner for that.
He's just sitting there waiting to use it. Okay,
I was.
Um,
You played right.
Sorry,
into
sorry.
so okay, like David.
Mm-hmm.
All of the things that we saw Ray to do, the pretending to be sick, that I'm not in this game, was this Ray's funeral? Is he the new keeper of Dan's Mist?
Maybe. It may be. I have to say, this was the perfect twist. Because remember a couple of weeks ago, I made the point that somebody was going to find a way to use quitting as part of their game. And I said, this whole, it's honorable and it's good and it's, blah, 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 was going to play to other people's detriment. And it was funny because it's almost like this is how Survivor Australia said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to screw with the quitters so they're not loved anymore. We're just going to put this out there and they will never be trusted again.
But
Nobody will ever be able to say, my mental health, I got to go home, because people are going to go, the hell you are.
Let's split the vote.
Right.
Yeah, like we're not. But
Well, I
but
thought it was
Australia doesn't
interesting-
have the quitter problem like US does.
Well,
There-
we had one
there's-
this year.
Yeah,
Well,
and there was one a couple of seasons ago, and last
But not
season he
consistently
didn't.
like the US is.
Yeah, last season, to
Well,
be
the
fair,
US has
she
gotten
didn't quit.
much
She had a broken
softer.
collarbone, so
Okay. But I love that thing where you have a lot of US, just to compare, a lot of US viewers that are saying the same thing, like, oh my gosh, all these quitters, they don't deserve to be on the show. Why is this happening? And Australia literally said,
Because-
hold my beer. We're gonna make it so no one can ever quit.
JLP, please hold my beer.
And
Yeah.
to answer your question, Christy, it happens because the U.S. is casting soft people. Soft people quit.
It's something. Something's going on over there. Maybe the production's not
Something's
even
going on.
talking. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
She's
dropping
throwing things. She's
over here.
throwing things now.
I am.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
So this is an important question for me because I
Is that
cannot
Chris in the
answer it.
background?
No Chris in the
Sasquatch.
background today.
I just
I
wanted to
kicked
see if I can get him to turn
I
around.
kicked him out of the jungle. He's gone. He got voted off the island.
He got
No worries.
snuffed.
I have a really, really serious question that I can't answer myself. And so I'm
Oh.
hoping that you guys can. How in the hell did I go from loathing Alex so much to just openly loving and rooting for him?
I never really hated him, but when first of all, they flushed his idol. He got rid of it. Whatever. It's all good. Said he was happy to have it gone. Kelly was finally gone. When he went to give it to Jonathan, did you see how tall he is next to Jonathan?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hello, Alex. I don't know, but Samoa's really good for him.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
working
he's
out
gl-
good.
I think
right?
he's glowed up a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't
Taking
get
off
it,
his
'cause-
shirts and getting a tan while he's doing
Maturing.
challenges.
Having fun while he's doing challenges, being a goofball.
He's got that cheeky smile.
It must be
Him
a
and
girl
Ferris.
thing, because he is currently my least favorite player. I don't like him. I find him annoying, and I wish him gone.
I don't really find him annoying any
Oh,
more
God, he's
annoying than some of the others. I'm not rooting for him to win the whole thing though, but it's whatever.
He's
Jared
grown up.
was way more annoying to me.
Yes, I'm going to have to say that I think it was really, I love the fact that on the same week that he's putting his foot in his mouth on social media, he's doing the same thing in our episode where he's like, "Oh, don't talk to me like that, Carolyn." And she's like, "Hey, whoa, I was just joking. Like, cool it. I was being enduring." Like, but it really offended me. Oh, interesting. That is an interesting thing that this is happening in the same week. But go on, Jaden. Tell me more about how you're the muscle in the game.
Number one physical threat. It's like, really? Do you think, dude, when you were holding two grown men and one under each arm, you're okay?
Maybe.
But
Real.
To defend my position, Jared is already gone when I make the comment that Alex is my least favorite player.
Oh,
okay, that's true.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's true.
You know what? I can't say for certain who's my least favorite. I just know that I really, truly was like, ugh, Alex is a maths teacher. No wonder I don't like him. To like, this guy's crazy.
He likes numbers.
This guy, he's all right. Okay. Another question I have about the gameplay tonight was with Ray and this power. Do you think that Val was the right target for his resume? I feel like he might have slightly missed a really big opportunity in the shape of Kirby or even better, Ferris.
I would have sent Kirby home. He can't send his number one ally home because then he's got nobody.
No, but I don't think he wants to send Kirby either, because I think the conversations him and Ferris are having is that right now Kirby is he is still worried about her, I think. And I think he's one of those keep your enemies close kind of people, And
she's the one. An enemy if she was gone.
True, but he thinks he can still use her, I think.
It's really interesting that right on the back, like directly on the back of flipping on his alliance with the vote and keeping that secret, that he's using this power and he's including the head runners of his alliance in on this. So there's it's either really, really risky or they really truly do have some very strong loyalty. I don't know. I'm like, this is ballsy.
The minute she about screwed up the entire thing by passing the necklace for no freaking reason, I would have voted her out. Just for that, because
that was so weird. You know what
home. There was no reason for that.
In Tribal, when she puts just randomly, just right in the middle, just does that, you know what it felt like to me? It felt like in the prison movies when the one person puts their pocket out and goes, tells them to grab hold. It was a little claimy, right?
It was.
Okay.
Right? Like, I gotta keep her.
I had the same
safe.
thought. I had a flashback to Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, it was a little okay. Yeah, it was a little claimy. It was a little. I'm protecting you, girl. You better recognize. Like,
it was a little bit, but just to throw this out there, Kirby and Ray don't have nearly as close of a relationship as Ray and Ferris. She knows that her and Ferris have always been just a little bit at odds against each other, even when working together. Yeah. She also knows that Ray's name has come up occasionally, and that silly girl just can't seem to vote with the rest of us. What if this is a ploy? What if it is a ploy? What if the vote he's saying no, because it's not 5 people you're trying to suss out if they're lying to you about whose name they're putting down. It's one. It's just one. It would be so easy to say, oh yeah, we're going for Val. And it's not Val. It's Ree.
But why wouldn't Kirby be worried it could be her name?
I think Kirby made a mistake in when she passed her idol over. The whole like secret la 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 thing, I don't know, but I feel like it should have been towards the like we're gonna get ready to vote time, a little bit closer to that. Like when they say the only person you cannot vote for is she goes, oh, wait a minute. Yes. That would have been the time to do it, and all she would have had to do afterwards, and I'm sure she will have this conversation, which is, I trusted you 99.9%, but this is Survivor, and I was just making sure. But now, like, you sold me. Whatever you need going forward, I'm there for you, because you could have gotten rid of us. You're awesome. Let's go. Something along those lines, which I'm sure she'll do. But the very slow and sneaky thing, okay, the slow and sneaky thing might have been worth something had JLP not gone, oh, and Kirby is just giving away her idol. What do we got here? Read that aloud for us.
Jamaica says, she passed the necklace to ensure Ree felt 100% safe, because she would have wrote a name to send Raymond home, because Ray felt she was the vote.
So she was being her keeper. Because,
okay, that's, you know what? I'm going to give you that. I think you're correct.
Ray doesn't vote along with anybody.
Okay, best comment of the night.
All right. It's the only one.
That's a good thought.
No,
that's
a good thought.
But I wonder, it's a very good point.
It is.
But I do wonder, though. I mean, at this point, everybody knows her and Rhea are together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But isn't it kind of a different level to be like, I'm giving up my immunity for that person?
I don't know. Not with these people. Alex gave Val his idol after she tried to make it like they were after him. These people don't make sense to me.
No, that's true.
That's why when we sit down and we look at our top 3, all of us have the same one person left in our top 3. Because we can't figure these people out. Like, there's nobody that's like for sure. And how do we all feel about our last remaining person in our top 3, which is Mark? What are his chances? Does he really hold a chance at a win?
Wait, who was my third?
Mark.
I had Mark. I had
Eden, and you had Mark, Eden, and
I was like, I was going to
pick. You took the other 2. I had the V's, so mine are gone.
I have it. We'll get you, girl. I'm going to feel stupid when
I think I have 2 still. I think Mark was the first one I lost. I mean, not Mark. Eden was the first one I lost, I thought.
No, Garrett.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dang it, Garrett. Garrick.
Garrick.
All right, you're right. Dang it.
So it's just Mark.
All right, we just have Mark.
How's he going to do?
Well, he's not playing very hard right now, or not from the edits. Now V's gone. He should have already been trying to work with Ferris and those guys, just in the same idea.
I think he's hanging back,
keeping your enemies close. Yeah.
What option does he have?
Nobody wants him out right now.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, what option does he have right now?
He had many weeks where people did want him out, so this is good for him. You know, he survived that.
The target's got to be on him in the next 3, don't you think?
I don't know, because Kirby and Ferris
are they gonna have a swimming challenge?
Have to go against each other.
Or maybe it'll be
Ferris.
They will have to go at each other, but the something to remember is these endurance challenges. There are some people that are a lot better at these endurance challenges than either Ferris or Kirby or Mark even. Come closer, even Ray. But you've got Alex and you've got Ree, and they are neck and neck all the time. So maybe
who do you think
you gotta like Mark if they do the last gasp.
Yeah.
Because he seems to be at home in the water.
He's like, he has gills, I think. Who do you think Alex is going to be loyal to? How do you think Alex is going to want to work with?
Alex has nobody.
He doesn't.
But now that Val's gone, will him and Mark go together?
No, I think Mark is gonna. I think he's gonna keep trying to align with Kitty and Caroline.
Kitty's bailing on that already. Why would you
see? I feel like Alex is gonna maybe go where. I haven't decided yet if he's going to be following Ferris or if he's going to be following Kitty directly, because he did have Kitty come to his high tea because he wanted to see where her head was at and create a new bond with somebody. So maybe
Yes,
that
I
would
see.
help.
I think he also wanted to separate her from Caroline.
Oh yeah,
So
and she'll spill. So the tea.
The high tea, as it were.
bring Kitty to the high tea and watch her.
High tea does
spit
not
out.
mean what people think it means either.
But I wish it
Just
did,
saying.
because that would be some great TV, right? there.
American high tea.
Yes.
An amazing tea party. All
It
right.
would be
so
mad, I tell you.
who do you think had the? I mean, there was some crazy stuff that happened this week. Who do you think had the best game of the week?
Oh, undoubtedly Raymond.
Raymond for sure, 100%.
He went from 0
Without
to
doubt.
hero.
It was his week. It was the Ray show. Because from the moment he got that, from the moment of the auction, when he gets the clue, when he read it finally, I was like, oh, that's a crappy advantage. That, like, do not use it, do not try it, it's too risky.
It's bad.
Because you can't control anything about that. So I thought, oh god, this sucks. And then all of a sudden it was the last episode and it was, oh, tonight's the last time I can use it. And I was like, oh shoot, already? That was quick. And then it was the whole, Ferris knew he had the thing, but he wasn't telling. Ferris figured out what he was doing, right? He didn't go to Ferris and go, I'm going to do this thing.
No, they talked about it for sure.
Did they? I don't think so, because
I feel like he did the I'm gonna play down in the dumps until Ferris comes and talks to me, and Ferris is gonna know what this is about. Because he didn't go and tell Ferris that he had the advantage. He's known about it the whole time.
Yes. I think the only thing I would say would be that he should not have told Kirby. Because I think they didn't need to tell her. Now, if that's to win kudos, great. But then she uses that same information to make to get in with Ree, and it's like you're using someone else's info, lady, and you're about to risk the whole thing. And I was
He absolutely did risk the whole thing.
I was so worried with every vote, weren't you? Because you're like, oh my god, this is. Oh, I don't want this to backfire on him because it was so delicious.
Was not worried at all because I was spoiled 3 times.
Oh, sorry.
Watching the episode.
I was not. And and honestly, I was also kind of ready for Val to go just she's kind of snippy and snotty.
I feel like Val was a really dangerous person to have in your alliance when it comes to tribal. It's like she just says a little too much.
No filter at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she leads people directly to the path of what she's doing.
And
I'm sure the moose and squirrel are feeling safer too.
Yeah, I'm sure. But the way that when Viola, when she was voted out, I thought, Mark, you think this is a bad thing, but Mark, this is going to be a better thing for you. You're going to look less of a target since he's our last winner's pick for all of us. And so maybe the same thing will be for Val. Like, she's gone now. She could take everything you've done. She could take it away. All those sins are gone. She's gone.
So maybe what really needs to happen
maybe
is
it's
Mark
good for him
needs to see that Alex is just floating in the game, and he needs
to grab him.
Yeah.
If they had a water challenge where they had to team up for reward or something.
Would you trust Alex? If Alex gives his word on something, I wouldn't.
Okay, maybe not throughout.
How's Alex going to get to the end, though?
Right. In earlier spots in the game, I wouldn't have trusted Alex.
Not without someone's else.
If you're Mark sitting in this game right now, your last solid alliance member is gone. Who do you trust? You've already been back and forth with Carolyn and Kitty a million times. They're always going over to Ferris. Ferris is the leader.
The second you tell him something there.
I think it's not a matter of, oh, I really trust Alex. It's going to be I hope I can trust Alex.
If Ferris and Mark aligned, that would be interesting.
Oof.
It would.
Yeah,
but isn't Ferris on his revenge path?
For Kitty or for Kirby, I would think.
Yeah, but okay, if he can do this, but so far it seems like every time Ferris is like, I'm gonna get revenge, that's when he loses who is doing what.
Well, let's be honest. every time somebody's tried to get revenge or pull a big move, it hasn't landed this year.
It's
Right.
not a good way to go. This is not. It's
You
the
need-
theme, but it's not the safe route.
Let me pose a question, and this is the same question that I posed on our posts on some of the Facebook pages. Is I think we would all agree that in U.S. Survivor history, the Johnny Fairplay fake dead grandmother story was the lowest play in U.S. Survivor history. Did anybody disagree with that?
It was the
Not-
skeeziest thing, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there, yeah.
I believe, having seen now all 9 of the recent seasons,
Oh,
not seeing
wow.
the first 2, that this potentially was the scummiest play. Granted, the game asked for it, but the point of the matter is what Ray did is he took advantage of people's good nature to gain an advantage in the game, and that's pretty scummy.
Maybe.
He did.
But I mean, we also had 2 seasons ago where Sam basically told Jesse, "Sorry, I'm not giving you your idol back, sucker."
Yeah.
That was pretty awful.
Yeah, but
Mine
that's
now.
But this is more on a personal level. He was more like to them, "I'm just out. Feel bad for me. I'm struggling personally," and he took advantage of their emotions that way. Sam's play was a pure game move.
Okay,
This
Hear me out.
was
hear me out. I would say the move in itself, yeah, I can't argue with you. But you have a couple different things that are in this. One, Raymond didn't interact with everybody. He said, "I'm gonna go lay my head in the sand and die 40 feet away from camp." And then he just laid there. And no
but
one,
he
I mean,
did say
short
the
of
words,
somebody-
"I want you to vote me off."
Yeah,
He did like the perfect melodramatic teenager. It was spot on.
Yes. And somehow, I mean, occasionally someone would go by and they'd be like, "Hey, do you want some coconut?" And he'd be like, "No." And they'd be like, "All right." And they'd go back to their little circle and they're like, "Raymond is messed
Oh,
up.
he's not doing good. He's not doing
He's not
good.
doing I'm
He's
gonna
not
be
doing
honest,
well, mate.
I don't think that Raymond's move was the scuzziest move in this situation. It was
I don't either.
Ferris that did the scuzziest move because he's the one that kept going, "Oh, he's not good. You guys, he's in such a bad place. I feel so bad for him. Oh,
He
we're
just wants to
we have to
and
give him
he-
that one thing before he leaves."
right. He wants to complete his journey. He wants to be voted out unanimously. We can give him that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was great. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant that he came up
Well,
with that.
The difference
You're gonna
between the
have
Johnny
most votes at a merge, the biggest unanimous vote. That's really something. At least you have that. You're a record breaker. And that was really brilliant for other people to hear him say that and go, kind of getting that, "Oh, we kind of want to give him that." Ferris was the one who was. I know that Raymond was just laying there in the sand, but I'm not giving him the Oscar on this.
So
It
you
was
think
fair.
that if they get to the end, he can kind of go, "That was needed.
Yes.
You went late in the."
He
I
laid
think
in
it's the
the
reason
alley.
why he's. I think it's the reason why he doesn't want to get rid of Kirby either, because I think every single thing Kirby could say, she took he'd go, "And I went along, and I was there with you, or I did this." I think he thinks he could beat her
But
too.
I think there's a really important thing that we heard in this too, because Kirby did say in her confessional, "I knew what was going on, but he sold me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
And-
knew it was
and let's
fake,
face
and
it,
still
she gets a Razzie because she almost ruined it a couple of times.
This is why we can't have nice things, Kirby.
Well, it's just because of that Ray. That Ray's got to go. And then I love when we get to the meat of a game, when we have heavy players that get to stick around in the game and we lose their side piece. And then we get to really see what they're made of. It's going to be great. All right, what do we got here?
We got a comment. Mark should align with Ferris. His number 1 is gone since Mafia is unreliable and temporary. Ferris needs Mark to take out either Caroline or even Kirby. And I agree with that. If those two align, I think that they could run the table.
I think they could too. And I think we'd all love
Especially
watching
if
it
they're
too.
smart
But
enough to act like they're not working together for a while.
So why do you think that Ferris did not communicate with Ray what it would be to take Kirby out of the game versus Val. I mean, I know it's a numbers game, but
he has a Kirby-sized hole in his soul. He wants
I think
Kirby
he thinks he can
to
beat
love
her.
and respect him for whatever the reason.
Do you think that he feels like if he's sitting in a final 3, like, does he really feel like his game is so much better than hers that he could overshadow her game? Do you?
I just think that he can match her blow for blow. She would say, "I did this," and he go, "Yeah, and I did this." Like, I think he just thinks he can do that with her.
I think he has some sort of like revenge fantasy in his head that at the very end, when she thinks he's gonna take her, he's gonna go, "Nope."
Psych.
I'm taking Raymond.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I feel like that's like his idea of revenge can't just be you're out of the game. It's gonna be like I'm gonna have to burn her so bad, and it's gonna mess him up.
And David's right, the way he said, like, and then he takes Raymond, and then Raymond has this one gameplay to play, and Ferris would go, "But that was me, dude."
But that was
my gosh, we have Ferris winning this. We're all gonna lose.
Yeah. He let his hair down today, guys. He let his hair down.
He did it when he was crawled through the mud.
Okay. No, I have to say this. Not being one who generally finds dudes attractive, that man's much more attractive with his hair down than it is up. Because he looks like a meerkat or something when his hair is up. He's a funny looking dude with his hair up. With his hair
he
down,
has such a thick beard and super white teeth. And
I think his best look, personally, my
handsome.
favorite Ferris look is when he has the beanie on and his hoodie. I love it. That's my favorite Ferris.
Yeah, that tracks.
Mm-hmm. He's got those big eyes,
Ferris's grunge look. Jamie's into it. Big
yeah,
shocker.
absolutely.
Whoa, shocker! What?
That's why she likes Raymond. That's why she thinks Raymond's a cutie pie too.
I adore Raymond. He's
slacker.
But this week when I realized who has it been that this fella's been reminded me of, and then he made his move, then it's just, yeah, this kid's Ramsey Bolton. Maybe
Raymond
it's
looks like a bassist. I know.
He might be.
Don't you think, Christy?
Do what?
Doesn't Raymond look like a bassist? We both know.
Are you talking about Flea?
You think that's what he looks like?
No, I think he looks like Chris.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
Look at JV ignoring me.
She's like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Are you talking about
apparently, and I would disagree. That's why I'm not agreeing with him.
Dude, short of the gap tooth, there ain't nothing there. That's the comment. It's
the
hair. The hair's kind of close.
Except for Chris's hair is black and just has a blonde streak in it.
Fair.
All right. You thought I was like, I just can't see past the quirky alternative lifestyle look.
You can't.
But I think that Ray is not evil in his play like Johnny Fairplay was, because Johnny Fairplay set that up before he ever went out there. He planned that whole thing. Ray didn't plan anything. A thing fell into his lap, and he took whatever it was 6 days trying to figure out like how can I use this.
Literally,
and he had to create
use it.
It was. I mean, I really thought, like, there's no way. How do you do that? Like, you have to do something. Even meatballs clamming around at night. Who's going to write? How do you ensure everyone writes your name down?
But
and he thought of it. God dang it, he thought of it.
Great, because again, we've talked about this multiple times tonight. We talked about it last week when we had Scott on. The writing this season, the editing and the writing choices have been so interesting and satisfying.
So good.
We did have just a few episodes back, though. It seems like forever already. We had Winna desperately trying to get everyone put his name down, and it did not work.
Yeah.
Winna is in fact not the winner because he couldn't get all the heat on him and have everyone.
Why does Winna want us to all vote for him? Dude, maybe he has a hidden human idol. Nah. Like, what the heck? Like, it's so obvious. Don't do that. It's so obvious.
It didn't work. It did not.
Oh, you want me to vote for you, bro? Nope.
No, not gonna happen.
Never again, right, David?
Yep. Never again. No, and that's,
All
and
right.
that's the greatest thing is they never have to be nice to the person quitting again because they're going to be like, oh no, you're playing a game. This is
If
some
you want to
scummy
quit,
challenge.
you're gonna have to quit on
You
your
quit.
own.
You just go up to Jonathan and quit.
Right,
We're
and
not
then
throwing you
Jonathan
out.
never says when he's like, "Oh, you just want to quit? You want out of the game? So are you
Right.
quitting?" Well, Jeff would have said, "So are you
Well, no,
quitting
and
the
that's
game?"
exactly what Jonathan said to Scotty.
But he
So-
didn't.
Because
that
he
because
knew
he
about the
knew it was-
twist, but the point is
Right,
that
but usually
somebody
that's what he
sitting
would say.
there should have picked up on the fact that Jonathan wasn't pressing him on the quit.
Mm-hmm. So what are you saying? Are you just going to quit? Do we even have to vote tonight? It should have been some
Right.
sort of comment like that.
Okay, do we love when Val's torch was stuffed and he stuffs it? And it just, that was just awesome.
I liked it when what's his name said when he said that he was going to walk off the wrong way.
Oh, that was great.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I
when Ray's
walk
like-
off the wrong way.
I'm going to walk off the wrong way.
I'm gonna be honest. From the point that Val's name gets read and she knows she's going home to her final confession, that is the most likable she was
Right?
the entire game.
She was gracious about it, like a good winner, or
Yeah, this woman's
a good loser or
fantastic.
whatever.
I thought people
Also-
were going to be saltier about that, about having
Well-
their emotions played with that way.
We will see,
No.
because he said you guys are going to hate me for this, but
I
we're
don't
not
think
seeing after. We'll see. We'll see next episode when they get back to
No,
tribal.
you want to know why I don't think people are going to be salty about it? If anyone's going to be salty about it, it's going to be Carolyn. And I don't think anybody else is. Because when
Mark,
they were
maybe.
playing,
Because she went into nurse mode and was over there trying to take care of him.
no, I don't think Mark will either. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because if you watched the challenge with the slingshot challenge, they were all talking so much dirt on each other and laughing, and every time someone would say something snotty, the other person would retort, and then they would laugh. Like, I think we have most of the salty dogs have been disbanded. I don't think they're going to be that, but Carolyn probably will. I can see her taking that personally, even though I didn't see her over there sitting there crying with him and begging him to
No,
stay.
but she was like, but she's as the nurse,
Mhm.
right? And she's always been kind of keeping an eye on them. And so she was trying to. He's not eating anything. He's not drinking. He's not. And I'm gonna guess that started freaking her out because.
Yes.
Uh,
Now, Kitty, I could see Kitty crying about because she cries anytime she doesn't know what's going on. She's just being emotional and getting
the
it
stress, man.
out. Right. But I don't think that she's going to be salty against him. I just don't. We'll see.
I'd be surprised. See, in that situation, I'd be salty because I feel like you went beyond what I would consider the limits of the game.
But at the same
I don't-
time, when he says like, "I got this thing. This is how I had to use it."
No.
I was just-
understand. Do you think
yeah.
production? Do you think they went into the season with this plan, or do you think this is a direct result of Scotty quitting, and they came up with this on the fly?
No, I think it was just an idea for a twist. This is so. Yeah, I don't think so. I think this was probably in the mix of twist ideas they've had. Now, they might have said, hey, let's pull that one. That works. But I
And
don't
Jeff
think
needs
that-
to
I
use
think-
this.
I think
get people to
Australia
quit
does
quitting.
that. I think they're a little more flexible, and I think they have. I think you're right. I think they have 8 twists, and they go, you know what? We'll use twist 7. You know,
Yeah, right. Yeah, this one's going to work. We need combo 6 and 4.
right.
Like, I
And Bob's
have
your
to, like,
uncle.
I have to say there was a moment that I thought was so funny is when we saw Raymond say, "Oh, you guys are gonna hate me," and like he sits up to say, it pans over to Eileen and she goes, "Yes," like a jury, like she was.
Yeah.
so
Oh
pumped.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And then she immediately looks to the side and goes, "Sorry."
Because
No,
they're getting such
not
a show.
supposed to. They are not
Right.
supposed to react.
I think that's fantastic, though. So if who knows? I mean, Raymond has this amazing week, culminating in this last episode. If he starts going on a tear and out of nowhere and starts doing things, I wouldn't be unhappy. I'm just saying.
Go for it. I just want everyone to go for it. That's it. Just play
Raymond
hard.
has spoken.
Raymond has spoken.
Yes,
All right,
that was fantastic too.
Oh, so Jamie, are we ready?
Yeah, we're gonna go
Jonathan's.
through. Jonathan
yeah.
had an okay week. His game is
He
picking
did.
up.
No,
He
come on,
stepped it up.
Eileen.
I like to think Jonathan watched our podcast and
Not
realized
after me
that.
too. Not after me too, Christy. Can't do that anymore.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I thought
Oh,
I've
all right.
oh gosh, never in my life. Thanks, Megs. You just ruined that song for me now.
I
I'm
can't
glad
believe
that
you
I
never thought of that.
No, I didn't. I just love that song.
I thought of that
Some
in the
of us,
80s.
Sorry, I never did.
some of us aren't as vile as the rest. Okay.
I'm a nice
Episode
girl.
1. We got Jonathan signing off with a that could go down as one of the shortest rebellions ever. He's not wrong. He's really not wrong.
It's not wrong.
Episode 2, you could cut the tension in this tribe with a knife, but right now that knife might end up in someone's back.
That's a good one.
That's very
It's a
good.
good one, but I
Here
think
comes the
we're
winner.
probably all going to be on the 3
Here
Which
comes the
is-
winner.
in a game where everyone is playing at the highest level. Only an Oscar-winning performance will get the job done. And that, I feel, is a little nod over to Ferris because laying in the sand worked, but I'm
But
sorry. He was
even
just being
then-
Raymond the whole time.
Ferris
He was just
couldn't
the
help-
supporting cast.
Ferris couldn't help himself walking up to Jonathan going, "Don't I get best supporting actor?"
No, he can't because he has to point out he is like the husband that does the dishes and is all I did the dishes today. Oh, did you see I did the dishes? Yeah, I had time, so I did the dishes. That's what Ferris is doing every time. He's making sure everyone sees that he played a part in this. And
That's
then,
his way of controlling the jury and
Yep.
resume writing and all of that thing. Come on.
and then of
Are
course when
husbands supposed to
it,
do the dishes?
I mean it's not a
Husbands are
law,
supposed to do
but
all the things that wives
it's a
can
pretty
do.
decent thing to do. Yes,
I don't know if I've ever done the dishes.
it's highly encouraged. Well, you know what?
But I start the
I'm sure your wife
dishwasher.
would
Does
say
that
there's some
count?
things that she's never done either.
Does that count?
or
if
ever
you
going to
start
do
the
again.
dishwasher? Because that's what she does too. So I think
I'm
I've
just
done
saying,
that.
you know what? For just for fun, just for a change of pace, why don't you like make a little chaos happen and do the dishes and then like just sit back and see what
Do the
happens?
dishes without the dishwasher?
Yeah, just try it. Just try it. I mean, like
Go
get your
old
hands
school.
in the suds. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
maybe it'll like change.
One of
some
you wash,
stuff.
one of you dry, you know.
Yeah. It's a great time to think of new plans, to hatch
I
new
had
plans.
to take a sink apart today because she dropped her wedding ring down it.
Ooh,
So I had that
yeah.
going for me.
You
And
definitely
Pete-
had to take that apart. Yes,
P-traps smell really bad, by the way.
100%.
That was gross.
It's not an
Anyhow,
enjoyable
I digress.
Was it the
experience.
kitchen sink?
No, it was the bathroom sink, which
Mm.
is worse.
Yeah,
The
it's not
worst.
an enjoyable thing. But good for you. Good on you taking it apart and saving the day. It's appreciated, I'm sure. Now try doing the dishes next time. See how far they get you. Okay,
Right?
guys.
This is gonna be, follow us on Facebook and explain to me why I should be doing the dishes.
Hey,
You
it
can't.
never hurts to have a little extra brownie points. I'm just saying, in life, bank them for a rainy day.
You would see, I wouldn't get brownie points. If I did the dishes, it would just make her realize that I haven't done the dishes in 24 years.
that what you
I'd be
think?
More trouble.
Oh,
Spoken like a
knows
teenage kid.
already. She
She already knows. Yeah. She doesn't know. Does she think freaking out? Like, did she pass out or like black out while she was doing them herself? Like,
This is
come
the
on.
first time I've had
Again,
to run dishes
She
myself.
doesn't do the dishes. She presses start.
Who puts them in the dishwasher?
We all do.
Who
Oh,
puts them
everybody
away?
does?
Yeah.
Well, she has you trained well then. Good for
And we
her.
all put them away.
Okay, so what you're saying is you use your dishwasher as an impromptu cupboard.
No.
Mm.
When if I come out in the morning and the dishwasher's clean, I empty it and put the stuff away.
All right, community support. I'll accept that.
Okay. That's like a whole
You'll get away with it
team
time,
effort.
David. This time. Okay, guys, we're going to be back next week on Thursday.
Oh, and it's
You
going to be
know
a
what?
humdinger.
It's going to be a humdinger. Like and subscribe. God, that's what she said. So you're going to like, you're going to subscribe, you're going to find us on the Facebook, tally the votes on Facebook. You know what? Drop by, give us some advice. Tell David why he should or should not do the dishes. Who do you think deserves the Oscar-winning performance? Who is it? Who is it? Who gets the Oscar? Who gets to take it home? Is it Ferris? Is it Ray? Stop by, let us know. And until then, have a great week. We'll see you Thursday. Thursday.
See ya.
Good day, mates.